Hello there, I'm Saem. Today we'll be solving one of the P4 paper. So I'll just download one. So we'll be solving our P4 in Python. Okay. Somehow I feel it's one of the best and quite an easy language to work with. There are other languages, but if you Google up right now, you will find Python and JavaScript at the very top of the languages. So obviously we should be using a language which is currently at the top. Let me check my volume. Okay, so let's solve somehow. Yeah. Okay, so I had to solve one paper. Okay, let's solve 4-2. Okay, so here we go. Let's start solving this. Let me just hide this a bit. So we're solving May, June 22, right? Uh, can I just save it and open it in Edge so that I can also use the pen tool to describe you some of the points. So here we go. We start now. We're solving uh, June 22. This is paper 4-2, and this is paper 4. Practical, like I told you, we'll be solving this in Python. I'll read the question for you first. Okay. So we have the following question that says, make sure your name, sender, and candidate number are obviously mentioned in the evidence document. Make sure that you save your sender number, candidate number, and the evidence document. The class declaration can be used to declare a record. Okay, if not supported, if the program language used does not support arrays, a list can be used. Right. So I will record another lecture where I will explain this solving with class as well. Today will not use a class. So the first point says is over here, a program needs to use a stack data structure. The stack can store up to 10 integer numbers. A 1D array stack data, okay, is used to store the stack globally. That's the important point. The global variable stack pointer points to the next available space in the stack and is initialized to 0. So the first question says is that we write program code to declare the array and the pointer as a global data structure, initialize the pointer to 0. Okay. So the way we'll do this is I'll be using PyCharm for this. This 3-mark question. Okay, so let me open up a new file. I hope it's being recorded. Yeah. So this is our June 2022. This is P42. And we will be solving question 1 today. Right. So like we said, we have to make stack data and stack pointer. So we will write over here is global stack data, and we will obviously have over here is global stack pointer. We will initialize the stack pointer to 0. We will initialize our stack data to there are two ways. We can simply write over here is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 10 times. Or we could even do is we can simply have this displayed 10 times. That's another way. So this is the way we'll be doing it. So for your explanation right now, and in order for the comment as well, I could even use this. I could simply, okay, a program code. So I'll just copy this, and in the beginning over here, I will displace this, place this over here, and somehow program code, and I can press is where is E, sorry, Control Z, Control backspace. You actually have to use Control backspace. My keyboard is different in this laptop. I'll just show you how to do it. So if you use this, you have to use your control to put this as a comment. Let me do it again. There we go. So you can put this as a comment, right? So we're done with the first part. The second part basically is saying what? The second part, procedure to output. So again, we put this as a comment as well. So here we go. And my God. Z, I can just put it as a comment initially. Yeah, so fine. And then what we have to do over here is, let's read the question. Okay, it says over here is that the function push. Okay, no, first of all, it do a procedure to output all 10 elements in the stack and the value of stack pointer. So we have to print the value of stack pointer as well. Okay, and we have to output the 10 elements of the stack as well. How will we do that? Okay, so for this, what we can do is we can simply have over here is a method. I can name it as a print array, right? And we can say over here again, we will declare the global stack pointer and global stack data. Then we simply have to is print, and we need to print over here is the stack data. Sorry, not the stack data, the stack pointer, and we'll have the stack pointer over here, right? And then obviously we can simply use the for. Okay, for x in range, we have to go from 10. We have to output 10, and then we can simply print is the stack data, and we can actually run the variable x inside that, right? So I'll explain the entire code once I'm done with all of it. Then what we have to do over here is the function push, okay, takes an integer parameter, okay, and returns false. It would return false if the stack is full. If the stack is not full, it puts the parameter value on the stack, updates the relevant pointer, and returns true. The program code for push has to be written over here. Okay, so if you read the question, you know what the question is. Obviously, we have to actually make a push. It's an integer parameter value. So let's have a look at this. So again, the same thing. I'll just copy this. So we have over here. We'll put it as a comment. Okay. So let's use over here is push, and we'll have is data item to add, right? Whatever item we have to add. Again, we'll have global stack pointer, global stack data, right? I'll explain you at the end the entire explanation of all this. If you're watching all this, I'll explain it. So we are saying over here is that okay. 1 second. Recording. Yeah, it's being recorded. Okay, we can use over here is if stack pointer is equal to 10, then we can say is return false. Else then stack pointer. Data to add. Stack pointer is equals to stack pointer plus 1 can be done. Okay. Turn true. Okay. Right? Okay. Write the code for push, right? Edit the main program to test the push function. The main program needs to allow users to enter 11 numbers. Okay, so we'll run a loop over here. Okay, for x till range 11. Okay, fine. Output the message when the number is added to the stack. Output an appropriate message when the number is not added to the stack and it is full. Output the content of stack after attempting to add 11 numbers. Okay, so again the same thing is uh, okay. So what we can do here is we can say for x in range, and we can go from 11 because we have to enter 11 values, obviously, right? And we'll take the input of x, and that has to be an integer as per the question. I'm going to use the input to input, and I'll write anything where is enter the values, right? And then I need to print it. So I can say over here is if push x. Okay, if we insert something into x, then we can say print data pushed. Else print we can stack is full, right? Right. So we have this push, we have this. Somehow what I'll do is I'll just bring this, I'll just cut this and I'll bring it at the end. Okay, because I have to call this. Like I said, I'll be explaining it at the end. So we can now, lastly, what we have to do is print array needs to be called for the print array. So what I'm doing is I'm actually going to run this now. So again, let me just run it. Oh. Okay, so I'll enter some values: 12, 4, 5, 67, 89, 34, 23, 32, 12, 14. Yeah. So you see the data stack full. It says stack is full. As you can see the message over here, stack pointer 12, and it prints out all the stacks. Now let me talk about this. Let me explain this to you. What's happening? So first of all, we initialize them. So global declaration, I told you. Why do we use global? That's the important thing. The reason why we use global is because when we use global stack data, stack pointer, this would be recognized in any function. So if I use this over here, and if I write global, it actually means is that this is the same as this one. Okay, so that's what global does. We can also do with classes, and classes actually are global. So we'll solve that as well. Okay, right? So we initialize the stack, 10 elements set to 0. And then I told you this, we made a push statement. Okay, second step, sorry, was this one, where we had to print the array. We declared stack pointer and stack data. And it said that we have to print the stack pointer. We did that output. And then what we're doing is we're going from till 10. And we are obviously outputting all the stack elements. So whatever data we have, Print will actually loop within the list and will list all the elements. So stack data X will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So one by one, the index numbering of the stack pointer will be printed out. Then we actually had to do is push takes an integer parameter and returns false if the stack is full. If the stack is not full, it puts the parameter value on the stack, updates the relevant pointer, and returns true. So you can see over here is this is what we're doing. Okay, if the stack pointer is full, then return false. Else what we do is the data that needs to be added will actually be added over here in the stack data. And we keep on incrementing the stack pointer one by one unless and until we reach 10. Fine. And then we had to do was in the main program we had to edit to allow users to allow 10, 11 numbers. Okay, we did that uh, and attempt to add these to the stack. Output appropriate messages when the stack is added. Okay, so if push value, if I've added a value in the push, then so what I'm doing, I'm inserting a value in my push. So you can say push is what? Push over here is my function that is storing some data over here. Okay, right? So this is how I'm giving reference to my function. Function push. Data pushed, else stack is full. Okay, so this is how this program works. In the next class, we'll discuss this how to do with classes. That's very, very interesting. See you till then.